Scarf? I don't know what that is. Hello. I meant to do that. I meant to do the dramatic silent entry. Hello, everybody. It was on purpose. Don't question it. Don't question it. Hi, everyone. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Hello, Lankuri. Hello, Nightmind. Hello, Lord Two Basil. Hello, Potter. And hello, M0. Hello. How y'all doing? How y'all doing today? Good evening. Good evening to you too. Hello. How is everybody today? Welcome, Derry Derry. Yes, that is me. I am the Derry. I am certainly a Derry. I feel like the music's too quiet now. I've basically just turned it off. Brilliant. Brilliant. Hello, how are we all doing today? How are we all doing today? I hope you're good. I am existing. I exist. That's the best way I can describe it. I have a lot of work this week and I am suffering under the sheer amount of like experimental materials that I have to create. And it's like, it should be fun because it's kind of fun, but it's not fun. I'm suffering. I want a cake. Me too. I always want cake. Actually, I've been thinking a lot about like tiramisu. I need to work out how to make some that I can eat that won't kill me. I need to work this out. I have no money for cake. That's a mood. Oh no. I hope you can find money for cake soon. Sometimes when I'm like really desperate, I make it, but like in a really cursed way. I do it in the microwave. Like you can put things into the cup and then microwave it. Hi Rick Sager, welcome in. Thank you so much for the follow. You're a participant now. You've just signed the consent form. Sorry, I should probably put that in the rules somewhere, shouldn't I? Telling people. Welcome in, welcome in. I hope you're good today. How are you? Okay, so we've already got the be mindful. I've realised I forgot to do it last week, which was very bad. I apologise. I did refund the points. I saw it and I processed it and I was like, let's come back to it later. And then I didn't. But yeah, mindfulness. Why don't we start with some mindfulness? That sounds good. Because frankly, I don't have any life updates. I have just literally been at my PC making experimental materials for like 48 hours solid, and I'm confused and scared, and I don't know where I am anymore. I've lost all sense of what is real and what is a experimental material. So that's good. On the bright side, these specific experimental materials, they're like, whoa, why is my eye tracking so bad today? What's going on? What's going on? Eh? Okay. Anyway, on the bright side, these specific experimental materials involve editing videos. So at least VTubing has taught me a skill that is useful as a scientist. At least that's what I'm telling myself. I'm not sure if it's true. But that's what I'm telling myself. Okay, so let's do the mindfulness. Let's do the mindfulness. How are we all doing today? Actually, no, before we do that, how are we all doing today? How are we all doing today? I'm doing okay. Like I said, I feel like I'm surviving. I'm like really, really deep into the stressful writing up period now, I think, and I've still got some like stuff going on that I have to do before I can finish writing up one of my chapters, and I'm like, oh goodness gracious, that's scary, and I feel scared, and I have to get a lot of writing done and also a lot of other stuff. I'm being vague because I'm working 2 jobs alongside writing up my thesis now, which is intense, but you know, it's fine. It's fine. I'll get through it. You're okay? I'm glad to hear it, Basil. I'm glad to hear it. Good, good. That makes me happy. On the note of being okay. Nice segue. So today's mindfulness card is a gratitude card. That's good. Okay. So the mindfulness card today says, go out for a I'm already struggling to speak. This isn't a good sign. Go for a gratitude walk and seek out things that you're grateful for. Vary them with things that you can see. What? Oh, I see. I thought that was a full stop and it wasn't. It was a comma. My bad. I'll start again. Go out for a gratitude walk and seek out things that you're grateful for. Vary them with things that you can see, touch, and smell. Allow yourself to focus entirely on your environment and be present in the moment. That's quite nice. That's quite wholesome and cute, I guess. How do I feel about this? I'm not gonna lie, I'm like so deep into thesis how I'm not really leaving the house very much at the minute. That's not good. But this reminds me a lot of like, there's a fairly standard like mindfulness task that's encouraged. I think it's mostly like as a cognitive behavioral therapy toolkit thing, where it's like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, where like you make a note of like 5 things that you can see. I think it's 4 things that you can hear, 3 things that you can touch, 2 things you can smell, and something you can taste. So it's basically like trying to stay present in the moment using your senses. It reminds me of that. But then adding in the thing that you're grateful for, that's quite nice. That's quite cute. Admittedly, a lot of the things that I'm grateful for are just inside the house, so I think I would just be able to do it inside the house. although I guess, you know, stuff like oxygen and Tesco. I'm grateful for Tesco. Oh no. You're doing okay? I also have a lot of work to do right now, but the end is near. That is such a mood, Potter. That is such a mood. I hope you can get through it okay, and I hope you can finish off everything. That would be good. I think we can both do it. Teamwork. We can do this. We can get through the work, the intense work. I think for me, things are going to be quite intense until Christmas, basically. Like, I got confirmation today, actually, that my, one of my examiners is, like, good to go and to be my defense examiner, which is terrifying. I have no other words. It's just terrifying. So it makes it feel real. You know what I mean? I don't know if that makes any sense. Like being told, yes, this person has agreed to be your examiner, it makes it feel too real. And then it's like creeping up on me now. I'm not sure about that. Hi, Richard. Welcome in. Welcome in. How you doing? I'm doing okay, thank you. I'm surviving. I'm not gonna lie, I'm quite tired. So I might actually, for once, actually just focus on reading the paper. So how are you doing? How are you doing? I hope you're good. Don't forget your tea. I actually don't have any tea today. This is terrible. I don't have any tea today. I have water and nothing else. Because, like, I ain't gonna lie, I've been having, like, a bit of, like, stress-induced sleep issues. So, like, the number one thing that you can do to maintain good well-being, apart from, like, you know, well, there's a few things, but one of the best things that you can do is have good sleep hygiene. So, like, basically that means not doing things that you do during the day right before you go to bed. Like, it's best to have like an hour to cool off basically before you go to bed so that you can then like fall asleep. I don't know if that makes any sense, but like, for example, if you're at your PC coding, hypothetically, or making experimental materials like I have been, then it's best to like get away from the PC for an hour before you go to bed. But I have not been doing that. It's quite bad. I'm doing the like waking up, lying in bed in a state of pain, and suffering, and then eventually getting up and then just going pretty much straight to the PC. I mean, I've been doing like washing up and, you know, having breakfast and stuff like before I get to the PC. So, but it's literally like maybe half an hour, and then I just am on the PC, and then I'm working, and then I stand up if the postman comes, and then I also stand up if it's lunchtime, and then I also stand up at dinner time, and then otherwise I'm just at my PC until literally like 10 p.m. So yeah, that's what write-up's like. I'm not tired, but dang, today's practicum was boring. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. It always kind of is though, isn't it? It's always a little bit boring. I think it's fine though. You know, you get used to it. Don't get too stressed. I'm trying, but yeah. I've had a few other things going on as well, in addition to the thesis, where I'm like, fear. I have fear. I am stressed. I have lots of things to do. So yeah, that's my life at the minute. Hi, Taxim Invasion. Welcome in. How you doing? My committee's setting a date and it's frightening. Good luck. Oh, good luck to you too. And also thank you for lurking. Yeah, when they're setting a date, it's like, wow, it feels like so much more real now. Like, I was like, haha, yeah, that's a deadline. And now I'm like, oh, that's a deadline. It's a deadline. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Oh dear. It's fine. It'll be fine. Good luck to you too. Good luck to you too. You'll do great. Hopefully I'll also do great. We'll both do great. I keep hitting things because I'm like nervous because thinking about the Viva, like I'm like, oh my lord, that is a thing I have to do. Thankfully it's with somebody very nice. I think I'm gonna have very nice people on mine, but it's still scary, like going in and talking about 4 years of your life basically. It's yeah. I have one way to wake up early, wake up quickly. What is your secret? Because like at the minute I'm going to bed and I'm falling straight asleep and then I wake up and I've had 8 hours of sleep and I'm still just like I'm not doing a good job of waking up today. Oh, probably got the wrong job, but I might get luckier next year because next year I'm going to try and do a practicum at what's the Bundeswehr? What is that? Bundeswehr? I don't know what that is, but that sounds cool. That sounds cool. Inject adrenaline straight into your brain. 0 out of 10, do not recommend. Do a cold water shower. I actually should do that. I should do that, probably. I should probably, like, you know, do more stuff like that. Oh, the German military. Yeah, the parliament. There's a word for the parliament, and I've heard it before, but, like, I have a qualification in German, and... No. No. Yes, Bundestag. That's what I was thinking. Yes, that's the word. Yes. Why are they so close? They're very close. I guess the first part probably means like federal or something like that. I don't know. You're probably the first non-German I ever met who didn't butcher the name. See, when I did my German qualification, I was told that I did like quite well with pronunciation, but I just couldn't remember the words. Like word order was fine. Pronunciation was fine. But then, yeah, just like actually remembering the words, I just couldn't do it. But I don't think it was because I couldn't do it. I think it was just because I didn't put enough effort in. I could probably like sit down and do proper spaced repetition at some point and actually learn a language. But yeah, I've never really been dedicated enough, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, hydrate. Thank you. I'll have some water. For me, it's also about eating good food. You need a balance of carbs and proteins. If I have too much carbs, I feel bad. Yeah, see, I'm like the opposite. If I have too much protein, I feel bad. And I don't know if that's like a function of my allergy. Like, just because my body is allergic to a type of protein, so then it's just kind of weird about all protein. I don't know, it's really odd. It's interesting how people are different in that way. But yeah, if I eat too much like sugar or if I eat too much protein or fat, I get really, really ill. As in like, I just feel like, yeah, bloated and tired and not good. But then if I have like meals that are mostly vegetables and like starchy food, like, you know, like whole grains or potatoes, then I'm fine. So I don't know what's up with that. Very strange. Interesting how different people differ with that. For me, drinking a lot helps me to stay awake, or anytime I'm sleepy, I close the sleepy eye to keep the awake one open. I like that. I like that. Yeah, I need to drink more water. I'm really bad at the minute. I'm just like chugging tea. I'm having like 3 or 4 cups of tea a day at the minute. It's probably, actually, to be fair, that's probably the reason I'm not sleeping very well now I think about it. Wow. I've had a realization. I'm probably not sleeping because of the caffeine. That would make sense, wouldn't it? Oh no. My mum made me tea the other day. That's nice. I drink too much tea. It's like literally it tasted like poison. How dare you? How dare you? I must say I drink far too much tea, but you know, it's how I was raised, it's how I was socialized, and you know, everybody says that English people, they associate English people with tea. It's not true. Irish people drink way more tea. Like, since I've moved here, my tea consumption has like skyrocketed. Yeah. I ain't British. I know you're not British. I'm British. Hi, Zakia. Welcome in. How the science are ya? I am certainly sciencing. I have been sciencing all day since 8 a.m. and I've had about a total of an hour of break all day, and we're gonna keep sciencing. I'm gonna keep sciencing. Speaking of science. Segue. Speaking of science, let's go. So, yeah, I'm good, thank you. How are you, Zerkia? I hope you're good. Yeah, no, speaking of science, we're going to be having a look through more of this paper. Let's speed run, I suppose. The caffeine's finally kicking in. No, it really isn't. I am just very good at pretending. I've had some water. Maybe it was that. Maybe it was that. I'll have some more water. Okay, so, paper. We are still reading the paper about cheating detection and conspiracy theories because... Thank you. Another hydrate. Thank you, thank you. Wait, I'll have more. Okay, I can feel my cells being replenished. Irish breakfast tea is definitely better than English breakfast tea. Hard agree. Hard agree. Thompson's tea is literally my favourite tea ever. The green one. I don't know if this means anything to anybody, but there's like Thompson's Irish breakfast tea and it's in a green packet. It's the best tea. I will fight people who disagree with me. Boil a cup of water, add 4 teaspoons of green tea and boil, fill it with 2 more cups of water, go let it simmer and then take it off the heat, salt to taste. Why are you putting salt in your tea? Is that a thing? I've never heard of that before. I will try it though. I need to go get some loose leaf green tea though. We've been having a very stressful time because we've got like loads of washing up. This is such a middle class problem, but like our dishwasher broke. But like normally I'd be like whatever, it's fine. But it's like specifically because I'm writing up my thesis, I'm like, every time I'm stood there washing up the dishes, I'm like, I could be doing my thesis right now. So yeah, that's where I am with life. But like the things were related. The things were related in my mind because yes, we don't have a kettle. We have a thing that goes on the stove, and like every time I look at it and I'm like, ugh, I have to wash it in order to make tea. Like in it. Like loose leaf tea, I have to... This made sense in my head. I have to wash it to make loose leaf tea in the pot. And then I have to wash it again to make normal tea in a tea bag because I need to wash it out so that it's just water. I'm tired. Confusion. Okay. Oh, it's milk. Oh, okay. Two cups of milk. Okay. So it's like salted milk tea. That sounds interesting. My brain ain't braining. This is very true. Buy 2 teapots. We have 2 teapots, but one of them can't go directly on the stove. Like one of them goes on the stove and then one of them is one that you like fill with preheated water. So that's annoying. What's a dishwasher? Use your hands and a sponge. I've been using my hands and a sponge. But I want to put it in the machine that does it for me. I'm so tired. Ah. Electric kettle for the winter. Yeah, I know. I don't even have a reason. I don't remember why. We had a reason for not buying one when we moved in. And like, we just never got round to it ever since. And it's ridiculous because since we've been here, we've bought like a microwave and then like a weird slow cooking, air frying, pressure cooking all in one thing. So like we've, and a food processor. So like we've bought appliances since we've been here. We just haven't ever bought a kettle. Like I can't explain it. And I refuse to put it in the microwave because that upsets me. I refuse to put tea. Like I've heard that people in North America, they put their water in their mug and then put it in the microwave and heat it up that way, and that really bothers me. That's not a thing here. That is a cultural crime and you will be deported for it here. So yes. I also just put tea bags in a cup. Yeah, see, this is what I normally do because I'm lazy. I don't want to do the loose leaf tea. You have to like, you know, fish out the leaves and sometimes you accidentally eat them and it's not pleasant. So yeah, we don't even have a dishwasher. Most people don't, to be fair. Weirdly, this is a thing that I've noticed since moving to Ireland. Like when I was in England, I never had a dishwasher ever. And then I moved here and everywhere I've lived had a dishwasher apart from like, you know, like student apartment blocks. So yeah, weird. Very weird. Hi Shayon, welcome in, welcome in. How you doing? How you doing? I called a bag of chips fries yesterday. I just thought everyone should know. So when you say that, do you mean you called... Wait. I'm confused. Wait, a bag of chips is in the flat things or a bag of chips is in the long things? I'm confused. I'm scared and confused. If it's greasy, I just wash it harder than I need to. No! It's the wrong way round and I'm upset. If it's greasy, I just wash it harder than I need to wash my brain after 1 second of thinking, that's a mood. That's a big mood. I also need to regularly, you know, pop open the skull, take out the brain, give it a scrub, put it back in. Please don't do that. Public service announcement, don't do that. That was sarcasm. Call an ambulance, she's losing it. So true. I can't process it. Like, I can process when people, like, go from in one direction, British to American, but when they do the other direction, I'm like, yes? Okay, I understand. I have the tea leaves and boil them in a pot and then strain them into a cup when I use them. Otherwise, I just use the Lipton tea bag. Yeah, see, I really want to drink more loose leaf tea because it's very nice. It's very, very nice. We did used to have some, but we drank all of it. Surprise, surprise. I just never replaced it. I should get some. I called a bag of Doritos fries as I was getting food for a family member. That's really upsetting. See, if you called a bag of chips fries, I'd be like, this is valid. But no, they're crisps. Actually, Doritos aren't even crisps. The weird thing is that we do actually call Doritos chips. That's the worst part. They're tortilla chips. But for some reason, everything else is crisps. I have no explanation. I think because we've imported tortilla chips from America, who obviously also then imported them from Latin America, I assume. So we've imported the American word with it. But then Ireland's really weird as well, because Ireland's like a mix between the two. I think a lot of like the language differences between the UK and America actually came from the Irish immigrants. Because like here, like what I would call trousers, Irish people often call them pants. And I'm like confused because they're like, I'm going to change my pants. And I'm like, you're going to what? Why here? And then it's like they go and they come back with different trousers and I'm like, oh, I understand. So yes, that was a culture shock. Oh dear. Use the oven to store pots when we don't use them. Yeah, see, that's cool. That's cool. That makes sense. I can't do that because I turn it on and forget things are in there. And I have melted things that way before. So I have a cupboard for them. Oh no. Really fancy Chinese leaves. Pua? I don't know how to say that. Tastes like black tea. Sounds nice. See, I like I normally get green tea or like certain like black tea loose leaf blends. Those are my normal ones. I'm not very adventurous. Oh no. Brain's more overcooked than that well done steak. So true. Psydere's cooked brain is not a bug, it's a feature. This is very true actually. Check throne. Wait. I haven't thought this through. Wait. Wait. Last time I tried to go on the throne, it like logged me out and then I was like, I can't do anything. Have you suggested something? Oh gosh, why is there so many suggestions? Why is there so many suggestions? Oh my gosh. There's so many. Wait. What's going on? There's a maid. Why is there a maid dress? maid dress. What thing am I meant to be looking at in particular? The what? Yeah, there's a maid dress in the suggestions. What is going on? I'm so confused. I'm so confused. I suggested a kettle? Wait, did you? Oh, it's not come through yet. Where is it? One of them's glitched. It just says no name in brackets. I wonder if it's that one. That or it's just not updated yet. Sometimes it's quite slow. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's funny. I do need a kettle though. I do need a kettle. I do need one. I should, we should probably get one at some point actually. It's getting quite like unhelpful to not have any kettle. Actually, I should do that. I should do that. Oh dear. I love Irish people purely because the accent is golden. So when you say the accent, what are you thinking? Because there's actually multiple Irish accents and they sound quite different. Like very, very different actually. The more that you live here, the more you can hear it. But yeah, there's interesting variation across the country, across the whole island actually. Scottish even more. If you like Scottish and Irish accents, you might like Belfast accents. They're very specific. They're like a kind of mix of the two. They're very strange in a kind of lovable way. Local word for underpants is eerily similar to trousers. That's concerning. I'm not sure how I feel about that. How do you not mix them up? What do you do if you go into a shop and you're like, I would like to see your trousers, and then they think that you're saying pants, or vice versa? There can be multiple accents in a language. Yeah. Yeah, so like Ireland, there's like I mean I can't do any of the accents, so this is not a helpful like, you know, this is not helpful. But like, so for example, like I've got an English accent, right? And then like Scottish accent is also within the UK. It's in the same country, but it's very, very distinct. But even like within Scotland, people say Scottish accent. I assume that they mean like Edinburgh, but like Glasgow is very, very different to Edinburgh. So yeah, it can be quite intense, the differences, like the geographical differences. It's very cool though. I want to read some papers about like accents at some point. Because I know I've read a few papers about how people like respond to accents, if that makes sense. So like how people yeah, like if they hear you saying something. So like say for example, if I don't know, what can I read? What can I read? Petite maid ruffle retro apron kitchen. Cooking, cleaning. Yes. If I say it like that, then it's very different if I say it in like, you know, like petite maid, ruffle, retro, apron, kitchen, cooking, cleaning. Like it's very different. Very, very different. The way that people respond to them is different. And I'd love to read some papers about that, but then also just about how different accents develop. Because like my accent is changing. The longer I live in Ireland, it's changing, and I find it quite interesting. Some of my friends are Southern American, and it sounds nice. Yeah, I love this. I like the Southern American accents. There's this VTuber that's just been popping off recently who like literally like I don't know how else to describe it. Like they have the like Applejack Southern accent. It's very cute. It makes me happy. I thought Scotland and England were different countries. They're different nations within one country. So the United Kingdom is 4 nations that are kind of like semi-federated, if that makes sense. But they're within one country, and the country is the United Kingdom. I don't know if that makes any sense. Name? I don't remember. This is so bad. Wait, I know they're a cow. Let me wait. Oh, wait. Wait. I will find them. Give me 1 second. You owe us. I will find it. Heck. I literally followed them the other day. Where are they? Watch as I now can't find them at all. Wait, I actually can't find them. What? This isn't good. Oh man, I saw them on Twitter and I can't find them now. This is so annoying. I thought I followed them, but I actually can't see their account, which is strange. That's not normal. What's going on? Can't find them on my follow list. Okay. Sorry if you heard that. For once I'm doing like desktop audio, so I keep forgetting it's going to make noises if I do stuff. Whoops. Yeah, I can't remember. I have a feeling that their name was Clover or some variation of Clover, I think. Please don't quote me on that. But yeah, they were like a little like cute little cow. And they had a southern accent. Yes, that's all I got for you. I'm sorry. I'll try and find them and put them in the Discord server later because I can't even find them in my likes, which is a bit weird. Maybe something happened to their account? I don't know. How strange. This happens to me sometimes where I'm like, I swear I have interacted with this person. I have definitely interacted with this person, and then I'm like, I just cannot find them anymore. This keeps happening to me. I think I might actually just be getting too old for social media. I might just be getting too old. No, not good, not good, not good, not good. Oh dear. Oh dear. Can't find him. Yeah, I can't find him. Old, yeah. The more that I teach, the older it makes me, if that makes sense. Like mentally, it's draining me. I'm no longer functional. It's very sad. Oh dear. Well, anyway, should we actually read the paper now? You sound barely 18, maybe 20. That's funny. That's funny. You're out by about a decade. Okay. So let's read the paper. There's a paper. There is indeed a paper. Also, hi Tayo. Hi, how you doing? Welcome in. How are you doing today? I hope you're good. I was lurking in your stream earlier. Let me give you a shout out. Wait, I can't spell bother. There you are. There you go. I was lurking in your co-working stream, but the thing is that I always have co-working streams up and then like I have to do something. And today the thing that I was doing was editing videos. So I didn't actually hear anything that you were saying. I just had you sat there with me today. I don't know if that's weird. Moo Clover. Yes, it's that one. Thank you, Dark Magnate. I hope I've said that right. Dark Magnate. Thank you so much. Moo Clover. That's the one I was thinking of. Yes. Thank you. You've saved me, and also welcome in. You gotta head out, Richard? No bother, no bother. I hope you have a good evening. And yeah, have a good day tomorrow, and I'll see you next time. Google was helpful for once. Let's go. Thank you, Google. Google has helped us. Yeah, it was Moo Clover. Yeah, so they've got like a really cute little southern accent. Also a really cute little model. But I think they're like using VTubing to document them learning live 2D, which is very, very cool. Very, very cool. I'm never going to be brave enough to go anywhere near that. So, yeah. Okay, so there is a paper. There is indeed a paper. I need to hydrate also. Thank you. I need to hydrate. Right. Okay, paper. We're doing the paper. So. Yes. Quack. Yes. So, paper. Let's do it. Posture. Thank you. Yes. You know what? There wasn't anything wrong with my posture, but I was like sat so far forward on my seat that I feel like I was about to fall off it, and that has corrected that, so thank you. That's, yes, cool and normal. Okay, right. So, paper. Conspiracy theories explained by a cheating detection mechanism. So far, we have discovered that these people think that cheating detection is an evolutionary mechanism. It's something that you know, we acquired through the process of evolution, because having things taken from us, having our resources stolen, is not good. It affects our ability to survive. Also, for context, cheating here, it's not explicitly referring to like relationship cheating. It means like when you're doing, like when you're any kind of situation where there's two people and they've got a kind of social contract, you know, there's like an expectation of how they're going to behave, and one of them does not do that. They behave in a different way that undermines the social contract in a way that kind of, you know, gets them more, might be more resources. I don't know. The kind of classic thing would be like, I guess like conning someone, like telling them that you're gonna do this thing if you give them money, if they give you money and then you just take the money. Like that would be kind of a classic example, I think. So yes, cheating detection. Replacing lacking mental capacity with Twitch chat redeems for routine actions, a retrospective. Yeah, I'm gonna do like a what's that thing where you, what's it called? I've forgotten what it's called. There's like a type of methodology that's really common in some types of social science, where you just sit there and write about your experiences and then reflect on it and try and derive meaning out of it. I want to say it begins with A, and I have completely forgotten what it is actually called, so that's good. But it's basically case study. It is a type of case study, but it's like a specific methodology for a case study about the self. It is like ethnography, but done onto yourself. Auto something. Auto something. It's auto something. It's not biography. No, it's not autobiography either. It's auto. My brain is telling me it's auto ethnography because it's literally just ethnography on yourself. I'm gonna double check. No, it's not autobiography because that's just writing down what happened. Auto ethnography. Yes. Autoethnography. It's a research method that involves the researcher connecting their personal experiences to wider cultural, political, and social contexts. It's a form of qualitative research that's considered art-based. Automonoethnography. Yes. We just add on prefixes. What could go wrong? Oh dear. Hang on. Let's see if there are any nice examples. Yeah, therapists use it quite a lot, actually. That does remind me. That's how I've seen it before, was in relation to therapy and like therapeutic practice. Because a lot of therapists, if you're doing therapy as a practitioner, you kind of have to like reflect on what's happening, if that makes sense. Like you have to think about how you managed the sessions and how you're managing your relationship with your clients, and yeah, reflect on what you could do better, and then also position you and the client within society and power structures and stuff like that. So it's normally used for that. I think that's how I've come across it. Glorified writing a blog. It is basically, I'm not gonna lie, it is just writing a blog and then getting it published. Like that's kind of what it is. I am not gonna lie though, I actually low-key would consider doing one of these for being a VTuber. I think that would be quite funny. I always have this little voice in my brain that's like, you should write papers as a joke and then see if you can get them published. That's like my demon voice. Can I get an autoethnography of being a VTuber published? The worst part is that I probably could. That's the worst part. Hello, Dungeon Slime. Welcome in. How you doing today? I hope you're good. You have research credits. I'm scared. Please don't use them for anything evil. Oh dear. I don't see why you don't follow through. You really should. It's very tempting. It's very tempting. Yeah, when the little demon voice chimes in and is like, you should write a weird paper, I'm always like, I should maintain my professionalism, and then I'm like, however, a paper is a paper. Oh dear. That'd be quite funny though. That would be quite funny. Papers published. Who I was watching the other day talking about getting research published. Yes. Oh, who were you watching? I I don't know. It wasn't me. I haven't got any papers published. I haven't even got any like manuscripts in the line. Hi, Jack! Hello, Jack. Welcome in. Welcome in. And hello, everybody coming along with Jack. How you all doing? How you all doing? It's been a while. How you doing? Let me give a shout out. There we go. Everybody go check out Jack if you haven't already. Jack is like one of the OGs on the channel. Like Jack was one of my first ever VTuber mutuals. And for that reason, we love and support him. And I think he's also debuted a new model in the last month or so, I think, if I remember correctly. So go check him out. He does, actually, what were you doing today, Jack? What were you doing today if you're here? But whenever I've caught Jack's streams, he's doing like Factorio and Helldivers and cool games like that. And he's also, I believe he's learning to be an engineer. Something along those lines. So yeah. Elden Ring, you were doing Elden Ring. Let's go. Let's go. You know what? I still need to play Elden Ring. It's getting really bad. It's getting really bad. I should really play that at some point. Absolutely mental. Oh my god. Did you keep dying? How are you doing? Are you like a dying repeatedly type of person, or are you actually good at it? I would definitely be like dying multiple times in a row. Like I would not be doing a good job. That's why I haven't played it yet. For the sake of your sanity, I would avoid it. Yeah, no, I would probably be really, really, really bad. I've gone insane from it today. No! No! We believe in you. We believe in you. You're good. You can do it. You can finish the game. And thank you for the follow, Pete Asimo. Welcome in. You're a research participant now. Sorry. I should put it in the information sheet somewhere, but you've just consented, so welcome in. But yeah, Jack, if you need to go and, you know, do resting things, post-stream resting things, you know, get a drink, food, whatever, absolutely please go do it. Otherwise, you are more than welcome to stick around as well, obviously. As always, we love seeing you in here. Yeah, where was I? Wait, I'm confused. I'm lost and confused. Your silly little voice is what makes science more accessible and less intellectually gated. Just do it. I'm really tempted. I should write a paper. Yeah, I should write I don't know. I feel like there's not like I've been looking, there's not really that much research into VTubers full stop, which makes sense because like when there's a new phenomenon, it normally takes academia like a few years to catch up, if that makes sense. So I'm very, very tempted. Very, very tempted. Sorry for the background noise. Go publish your silly papers, and while you're at it, write silly and highlight peer review issues. Don't even get me started. That reminds me! We need to talk about the Protsco paper at some point. We need to talk about that. US Elden Ring, UK Ye Old Telly. Yes. Oh, rhetorical question. It was Dr. Fatima, her video, the physicist who tried to debunk postmodernism. Oh, was it that paper? Yeah, I know the one. So there was this like really classic paper. I think it was done as an April Fool's joke. But yeah, they sent it off to like a postmodernist sociology journal, and then it was literally just nonsense. They just wrote nonsense, and they like some of them were like actively offensive, but in the guise of like postmodernist language. Yeah, the papers got accepted, and then they got published, and then they came out afterwards and were like, "Tee-hee, joke's on you." But the thing is that if I was doing like, if I was doing papers about VTubing, it would be semi-serious in the sense that I would actually be documenting stuff, if that makes sense. It's just that it would be about VTubing, which feels like a silly topic. You've been fighting the same guy for 40 minutes? Oh my lord. I don't know how you have got the perseverance. I'd love to stay, but I'm legit exhausted. I hope the stream goes well. Take care. Thank you so much for joining us, Jack. Absolutely. And thank you again for the raid. And yeah, no, go look after yourself, dude. Go like, yeah, have a rest, get some food, whatever you need to do. Go do it. You're not being tempted at this point. You're just scared. Don't be scared. You have our support. Maybe I should do that as like a, maybe I should do it as like a, I don't know, like maybe I should do it as a channel challenge or something like that. That could be like That could be like a suffer-a-thon goal or something like that. That would be quite funny. Hi, Husbando Mod, welcome in. He is here. Everybody say hello to Husbando Mod. Submitted the tea kettle to throne since you apparently need one. Yeah, I was saying how we don't have one. It's quite bad. It was a great video. It wasn't an April Fool's joke. She goes into the whole tiering of different publications and how they vet or don't vet things. Yeah. Oh, see, the physicist that I was thinking of, I thought that they did the paper. They submitted the papers as an April Fool's joke. But yeah, there's like different like quality levels for journals. It's a whole thing. There's also like predatory journals, which are terrifying. They genuinely scare me. But I have always stayed very, very far away from them because yeah, they're scary. They'll be like, hey, we'll publish your paper within 3 days, i.e. with no peer review. You have to just pay us $3,000 and also it's not indexed. So there's like this index of like papers, basically, of journals that are trustworthy. It won't go on the index, so basically it just doesn't count. Yeah. That's the thing. Anyway, should we talk about the paper now? It's not been an hour yet, so that's fine. That's fine. This isn't too horribly distracted. Right. Paper. Okay. So, conspiracy theories explained by a cheating detection mechanism. So, yes. So, cheating, as in any kind of like, basically just, you know, using other people for your own gain type of situation, lying, deception, etc. Not necessarily relationship cheating, although there's nothing in here which says that that doesn't count explicitly. So not sure where it stands with that, but I think it is just in terms of like, you know, swindling people out of their money and stuff like that. Is it related to conspiracy theories? Specifically, is the evolved mechanism which lets us detect when cheating is happening, like when we are being victims of cheating, does that same mechanism generalize and explain why we spot conspiracy theories when they may not be there? That is what the paper is arguing. So far we've had a bit about, you know, like signal detection theory and, you know, how do we detect false positives versus true positives. So like if there is cheating actually happening versus whether cheating is actually happening, no, that doesn't make any sense. If there is actually cheating happening or if it is not actually happening, and then whether we detect correctly whether it is happening or not. Yes, that's the summary of it. Very, very briefly. And they are arguing that it's dependent partially on, I think it was, actually, let's just go check. Let's go check. I don't want to get this wrong. Yes, dependent partially on what kind of cues we notice. So are they acting in any kind of, you know, sus ways that suggest that they might be cheating? And then also, if we incorrectly label them a cheater when they are not, how badly does that affect us socially, basically? How much of a bad impact is that going to have? So they're arguing that those two things go into people's decisions as to whether somebody is cheating or not, whether to label them a cheater or not. Yes, that's where we got to. So like Twitch streamers, exactly. Yes. Trying to convince people to give them money for literally no reason. It's called entertainment, Sweaty. Look it up. I swear it's education. I swear. Still the tree climbing being linked to conspiracy theories, evolutionary psych paper. Yes, it's still this one. It's still this one. Why does conspiracies? Because monkey. That's the paper. Okay, I'm gonna have some water. Right, this was then talking about decision bias and, you know, if it's actually happening and we detect it is happening versus if it is not happening and we detect it is not happening. How do we make those decisions? And then also what biases might affect it to make it a inaccurate judgment. Basically, they said social stuff can bias it. So like, if we're at a risk of being excluded from our family because we label our family member a cheater when they are not, for example, that would be a good reason not to do it. And that's the kind of bias that can happen. You know, it's a lot more costly to accuse somebody of cheating if you're close to them and dependent on them versus if you're not. So for that reason also, they said that outgroup members, so people that are in a different social group than us, are more likely to be labelled cheaters. And that is also, they argue that explains why conspiracy theories also tend to target outgroups. So, with that in mind, cues. What were the cues? Speed read. So, they argued that in theory, not only does cheating detection evolve, but parallel to that, or potentially like, you know, parallel but like slightly after, one would assume, then cheating detection evolves, but then parallel / slightly after that, the ability to evade cheating detection should evolve. So it becomes like a kind of like a bi-directional selection pressure, if that makes any sense. So like people can detect it, people can avoid being detected. So there's like a balance that's, you know, one side is trying to maintain the evolutionary value of cheating, and then the other side is trying to maintain the evolutionary value of detecting cheating and not being cheated. Yes. Direct cues are evidence of past cheating. That seems fairly... I can't argue with that. And the frequency of cheating behaviour in the environment. Yeah, so they were saying if you live in an environment where, you know, cheating behaviours are fairly common, so for example, like stealing, something like that might be really common, then that means that you're probably more likely to assume that people are doing it, which also makes sense. That seems fairly... I can't really argue with that. Likewise, they said about corruption, which again is a link between cheating detection and conspiracy theories, because high level of corruption, people detect cheating more often, but also high level of corruption, people detect conspiracy theories more often. So that's another basis for the shared underlying mechanism that they are arguing. Let's see. This is still corruption. Power asymmetries, yes. So whether the people who are arguably doing the cheating are more powerful than you or your group, that is also a potential indicator. Competition, if there's more competition for resources, one would assume that there's a higher payoff for cheating. So again, you know, they're saying that that might be a cue. Yeah, okay. And then we're on to the next section. So those are all of the things that they think are part of, like, you know, the average person's psychological makeup that could potentially explain conspiracy theory beliefs. It looks like this section is going to be moving on to the pathological predictors. So when people's traits or behaviors start to become problematic, either to them or to the people around them. Yes. I hope this is an acceptable summary of what we've read so far over the course of about 72,000 streams. There's an exciting systems diagram in the detection versus avoidance capability development. This one? No, wait. Which figure? This is a... Oh, wait. This one. Yes. Yes. Nature versus nurture. Culture of cheating. Anything about stress? That's a good question. I haven't seen anything yet. No. There is no mention of stress in the document. So, that's interesting. As far as I'm aware, stress in itself hasn't explicitly been linked to conspiracy theory beliefs. I might be wrong. I know that certain types of like threat detection have been. So like people's feeling, like subjective feelings of threat, like something bad's gonna happen, someone who's gonna steal my stuff, so, like I'm in danger, people are gonna take over my country, stuff like that. Those kinds of things are generally associated with conspiracy theory beliefs. But I don't know about stress in a kind of more general sense. That's a very good question. I would assume that potentially I actually don't know. Potentially it could be. But then it could be one of those things where it's like a reciprocal thing, if that makes sense. Because I would assume that seeing conspiracy theory, like seeing conspiracies where they don't exist is probably quite a stressful existence to be in. Well, seeing conspiracies where they do exist is probably also quite stressful. So, yeah. I don't know. I think there has been some stuff about psychological well-being now I think about it, actually, but what I've read was just an opinion piece, and it was more like suggesting this could be a thing. I don't know if there's been any follow-up work on it, because in all honesty, I haven't actually looked at new papers in like 6 months. Because I'm like, there just needed to be a cut-off point. if it ain't after this time, then it ain't going in the thesis. Deal with it. Oh, you're talking more about one that could create a cause and effect diagram. I'm boringly involved in too much systems thinking stuff. I can't even picture like the type of diagram that you mean, and that's bad. So yeah, but it's probably just because I'm very tired. I'm sure if I came back to it and I was like, oh yeah, of course. But you know when there's like so many different types of like graphs or diagrams, and I'm like, I don't remember what's what anymore. I've been looking at 17 million different types of flowcharts alone, so that's me right now. Okay, right. Conspiracy mentality and pathological predictors. Let's do this. Okay. In the previous section, we described a cheating detection mechanism that explains links between socio-political predictors and the belief in specific conspiracy theories. In this section, we suggest that alterations of this mechanism are likely to generate a conspiracy mentality and thus likely to explain the link between this trait and pathological predictors such as paranoid ideation or hypersensitivity to agency. So I'm sure they'll go into... Well, actually, I don't know if they will. They keep doing this thing where they just drop words and they don't explain it. Paranoid ideation is like the kind of general idea that like someone is after you, someone is watching you, so like, yeah, you're being observed, stuff like that. And then hypersensitivity to agency is kind of similar, actually. It's, yeah, being overly aware of like where people are exerting control. I don't know if that makes any sense. I've also just realised that we're in an ad break now, I think, so... The yapping, I'm not sure how much to yap. I'll keep reading this introductory bit. In other words, we assume the description of the functioning of the cognitive In other words, we assume the description of the functioning of the cognitive mechanism of cheating detection permits to integrate the two focuses in the literature of conspiracy theory beliefs. What? So they're saying that they think that cheating detection links up pathological predictors or like, yeah, potential like pathological elements of conspiracy theorizing and the socio-political aspect that predicts specific conspiracy theories. Yes, that makes sense. Yeah, yes, I agree. Yeah, indeed. Okay, drink some water. Okay, the good news is they've updated their... Yes, quack, I agree. The good news is that... English, come on, you can do it. The good news is that they've updated their diagram quite clearly to show where they think that the pathological elements might come in. So, based on this diagram, it seems to be suggesting that they think that the pathological elements first come in here with the cheating detection cues, the cheating cues, detecting the cheating cues, assessing the cheating cues. Yeah, so they come in with the assessing the cheating cues. So adding in irrelevant cues. Interesting. And then low plasticity on cues to cost asymmetry. So people aren't flexible in how they apply them? I'm not sure. We will find out. But yeah, this one here, alteration 1, without reading the paper, that automatically kind of makes sense to me. Because yeah, like paranoid ideation is all about like seeing patterns where there aren't patterns, if that makes sense. So if you think about kind of like a stereotypical like psychosis patient, for example, someone that's dealing with psychosis, they are going to be thinking that, say, for example, people are following them because they see patterns in their environment that other people don't see. And because of that, they link it up with a meaning. So, for example, they might see the same person over and over again every time they go to the shop, or they might be served by the same cashier every time that they go to the shop. And rather than just thinking like, oh, this person clearly works the 8 till 12 shift, they will think, this person is watching me. They know where I am. So it's like ascribing meaning. I'm not sure if it's the cue detection or the meaning part that would be the key element there. I think they're kind of both important, right? But my understanding was that it's more about like they already have the meaning in place and then they see things that match the meaning. So I'm not sure that irrelevant cues is totally the right way to describe that, but we'll see what they say. We'll see what they say. Okay. In order to be adaptive, a cheating detection mechanism should incorporate direct and indirect cues regarding cheating, but also a criterion to bias the response to avoid the most costly error. A functional mechanism can be defined as one that correctly processes the available information to effectively address the adaptive challenges it has been programmed for, without necessarily minimizing the amount of error in the input. Oh, in the output, sorry. Okay. So, yeah. So if the mechanism is working properly, it should take those indirect and direct cues about cheating, and then basically adjust them. It should adjust them according to the environment that you're in. Yes. Because that means that you're most likely to get the adaptive advantage, i.e. to not be cheated, but you're also likely to not make a error when making that assessment. Okay, that makes sense. According to this functionalist approach, the cheating detection mechanism is thus capable of correctly processing the available cues and generating an incorrect output, such as false conspiracy beliefs, to avoid the most costly error. Yeah, because in some cases, labeling someone a cheater when they aren't might actually make the most sense. Because, you know, there might be such high stakes, you know, I mean, if we think about today's world, it might be a lot of money, for example. In which case, like, the social damage, you know, in theory, that might be, you could mend that potentially, depending on how close you are or the circumstances around it. Or it just might be easier for you to just lose that relationship, but make sure you get the money. But yeah, obviously this is talking about evolutionary environments, so it's more like food and stuff like that. Conversely, a dysfunctional mechanism is a mechanism that incorrectly processes the available information. From the description of a functional mechanism according to the adaptive challenges of cheating detection that we've outlined, we can now deduce potential alterations. A cheating detection mechanism is likely to be dysfunctional when it handles irrelevant inputs or when it is insensitive to changes in cost asymmetry. Okay. Among other things, these configurations are likely to generate a stable disposition to a so-called conspiracy mentality, as well as explain links with factors such as paranoid ideation. Okay. So I'm going to highlight this real quick because otherwise I'll forget. And I also want to highlight the diagram because that's the wrong one. I can do it. It's this one. Is it? Yeah, there you go. It saves it into a note if you do this. It's very good. We like it. Oh dear. Wait, text. Where did it go? Highlight. There you go. Hi, Doc Rect. Welcome in. How you doing? Finally catching up. It's good to see you. How you doing? I hope you're good. Okay. So, let's see. Okay. So, yes. So, the detection of irrelevant cues. And yeah, this is about adjusting. So we've got the cues. Is it adjusting the cues appropriately? Is it adjusting the likelihood of cheating appropriately? Understood. Foss and UX, name a more iconic duo. So true, actually. Okay. The link between paranoia and a conspiracy mentality is well established, but the underlying mechanisms are still poorly explored. The cheating detection mechanism hypothesis offers new insight into these processes. Actually, if researchers have already proposed... Wait, what? Actually, I swear, like, I can't tell if it's me struggling to process what they're writing or if their writing is actually just difficult to process. Does that make sense? I feel like it's both. Actually, if researchers have already proposed that an abnormal perception of cheating could be linked to paranoia, we here assume that the existing link between conspiracism and paranoid ideation result from alterations in the cheating detection mechanism. Well, yeah, that kind of makes sense. You've kind of already said that, I think, but okay. Okay. First, this alteration could be linked to the alteration of... Wait. I swear it's their writing. I'm struggling with this paper so much. This is why we're reading it for so long. It's the distraction, but also the paper. Okay. First, this alteration could be linked to the alteration in the integration of change in cost asymmetry, and thus coming from a lack of plasticity of the cheating detection mechanism. Holy jargon, good lord. In other words, and for example, the bias does not modulate depending on the change in cost asymmetry stemming from the importance of the social exchange between the target and the individual, e.g. cooperation level. Okay, yeah. So yeah, like I said, it's not adjusting for socio-political context. That's one of the things that could do it. That makes sense. We assume that paranoid individuals detect cheaters equally in contexts where the importance of the social exchange is high, such as family or friendship contexts, increased cost of false positives, as in contexts where this importance is low, decreased cost of false positives. In sum, with a constant probability of occurrence of cheating in the environment, one would expect an individual with high paranoid ideation score would not moderate their perception of probability of cheating as a function of the cost of false positives. Okay, that makes sense. There we go. I think this end sentence summarizes it most nicely. It's their writing. I also feel like they're working backwards, hence wordiness. It does feel like that, doesn't it? You should kind of, sometimes like, you kind of expect it with a theoretical paper like this, but I think it's like a combination of the fact that they're working backwards and also they're in a field like evolutionary / cognitive psychology, which tends to be a little bit jargon heavy anyway. And on top of that, I don't mean this last one to be rude, but on top of that, they're French. I do think that, like, some of the word order and word choice, it is coming across as, like, you know, ESL, but specifically French, if that makes sense. I'm getting a lot of French vibes from the way that they're writing. I might be wrong. They might not even be French, but that's the vibe I'm getting. So, yeah. But yeah, I do think it is that it's kind of like how it's kind of like some philosophy papers feel very similar to this. Like there's just a lot of jargon. They just assume that, you know what they're talking about. It feels like it's a paper meant for their field and their group of colleagues rather than the conspiracy theories literature as a whole. Like I know what these things mean because I do reading in other topics because I'm interested in like cognitive biases and stuff like that. I'm interested in that stuff. So I've had a little bit of exposure to behavioral economics and a little bit of exposure to evolutionary psychology through that. But yeah, if somebody's like coming in from a purely social psychology or political science background and they're thrown with this, then it's probably like, whoa, like, dang. Holy jargon, Batman. Exactly. It is very much a holy jargon Batman paper. Oh, my current client is French. No comment. Sometimes it feels like the brain is a big probability machine and different weights on it account for 99% of personality and 80% of neurodivergence. Honestly, like, I do think that, you know, that is part of it. But, like, I think the thing that makes the human brain so interesting and, like, human cognition so interesting is that you can't predict it because so much of it is, like, emotion-based. Like, some of it... I guess that's what people mean when they're like, oh yeah, my intuition told me this, man. Like, it's... People have learned to automatically interpret things in certain ways, but that can vary quite substantially depending on how they were raised, where they were raised, the experiences they had. So, yeah, it's quite interesting. I I feel like, yeah, it's quite difficult because of that to work out what the biases even are. Some of them are fairly robust, like some of the ones that are studied in behavior science and stuff are very, very robust, but some others, like there's quite mixed evidence for it and it's very culturally bound. Your mum has a human brain? I hope so. I hope so. Well, again, emotion too, in an attempt to predict. Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. Yeah, I guess you could see emotions in some way as like an automatic affective response. I guess an evolutionary psychologist would argue that it's like evolved to protect you in certain situations, like as an automatic response. But my understanding of emotions is that it's a bit more complicated than that. I didn't really ever go into it in a lot of depth because it scares me. It scares me. Emotions scare me. Quack, yes. Hydrate, yes. Thank you, Nightmind. Hi, Miguel. Welcome in. Also, sorry, Pete, I read your comment and didn't say hello. Hello, Pete. How are you doing? Welcome in. How are you doing today? And how you doing, Miguel? Welcome in. I need to drink water. Wait. Okay. Emotion scares me, said the autistic psychologist. Don't attack me like this. My emotions are like yes and no. They don't have more nuance than that. I guess there's also neutral, which I would describe as perhaps. Imagine drinking on stream. I know. Shocking. I get scared when I see like other content creators doing like alcohol streams. I'm like, that scares me. Because I don't trust myself not to say something silly. I don't even trust myself not to say something silly when I'm like sober. So I'm like trying to be semi-professional and I still don't trust myself not to say something silly. So how do they do it? You're doing good? I'm glad to hear it. Hope you're doing well too. I am existing. Yes, I'm very tired. I'm gonna go to sleep very rapidly tonight. But yeah, I'm good, thank you. I hope you are vibing. I hope you're. Wait, have you submitted your thesis yet? Your big research project? I hope that's going okay if you haven't yet. I can't remember. Sorry. The time is all blurring into one, and I don't know where I am anymore. Yes. Okay. Assuming that a paranoid individual exhibits a bias that is strongly orientated towards false positives for cheating detection and insensitivity to variations in cost asymmetry also implies that this alteration generates a widespread distrust, inability to cooperate even within group members, and a belief in false conspiracy theories. This lack of plasticity would also explain the oh, that's what they meant by plasticity. This lack of plasticity would also explain the maladaptation of paranoid individuals in social exchange, such as difficulty in developing social relationships or cooperation. Okay, they're going from a very, very heavily pathological direction with this. This is like basically describing, I guess, if somebody has like significant difficulties with all of those things, then that is straying quite heavily into what we would call the schizoaffective spectrum, which is basically like a personality. I don't know what's the right word for it. Like historically it was called a personality disorder, but I don't know if they're starting to move away from that terminology now. But like basically there's a kind of pattern of personality where somebody is very distrustful of others. They tend to believe conspiracy theories. They don't like to cooperate with people. They just want to be on their own. Normally they won't really ever form any friendships or any, romantic relationships. If you know about the stereotypical like person that goes and like, lives in a log cabin in the woods by themselves, that's that person. And it can cause a lot of difficulties for some people. Some people are just totally happy living like that. So, yeah. So I'm really out of touch with like the, kind of clinical psychology side of things. So I don't know how it's formulated at the minute. Yes. I only recently discovered other emotional volumes than 0 and the end of the world as we know it. Yeah, see, I'm aware that it's like a spectrum. I'm like really weird though. So for me personally, it's like is like 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, and then like I hit a threshold, but I don't even know that I'm approaching the threshold, and then suddenly like the emotions come at the worst intensity ever, and it's very, very intense. But that is neurodivergence going brr. You did a few months ago? I'm sorry, I'm so out of it, Miguel. It's like the summer has just disappeared in front of my eyes. Well done! I'm now working in software development. Let's go! Let's go. Well done on getting a job. Then again, the difference between personality and neurodivergence is, are you happy about it? A little bit, yeah. I think it's probably a bit more complicated than that, because personality is more about like patterns of actually, now I'm thinking, what is the difference? Because neurodivergence is also patterns of behavior. I was going to say personality is like patterns of responses to stimuli. That's kind of what neurodivergence is too, but I think neurodivergence is more it's implying that like the pattern of behaviors is in a certain way because the mechanisms involved in processing things is different, if that makes sense. Whereas personality is like your full, like, I don't know how to describe it. You fall within the spectrum. But then now I'm thinking about it, because obviously all personality traits are on a bell curve basically, and you can be at the extremes, but most people are in the middle. But then now that I think about it, that's basically just what neurodivergence is too. I wouldn't be surprised if like extremes of personality dimensions are in themselves a type of neurodivergence or linked to neurodivergence. I have a lot of questions about this now. This is very interesting. This is sending me on a weird mental path, and it's distracting me. We should look into that at some point, how personality and neurodivergence intersect. That would be so interesting. Okay, we're doing that as a stream idea at some point. We're doing that. Someone remind me. Hi, Tesso and Dead. Welcome in. Welcome in. I hope you're good. I hope you're good. My condolences. Yes, my condolences for working in software. Yes, yes. Our condolences. Used to work in a home with little old people who had been placed from the closure of the huge asylums. That was an experience. Yeah, working with older, like, psychiatric patients it's an experience. It is an experience. I've done it before and it was an experience. I'll put it that way. Yes, yes, yes. DSM-5, my beloved. Oh dear. Where do we store the stream ideas? Nowhere specific, actually. You should put it, if you could do me a favor, write it somewhere in the Discord server. Maybe, and I'll just make a note of it somewhere. I'll get there eventually. I have a, this is so nerdy. You're all welcome to tell me, like, what are you doing? That's cringe. I have a GitHub repository, a private GitHub repository where I store stuff. I have a GitHub repository, and all of my VODs are an issue in the repository so that I don't forget about them. And every time I upload them, I mark the issue as done. There you go. That's my streaming workflow. Oh my gosh. Hi, Yoavko. Welcome in. How you doing? I hope you're good. In the brains? Yeah, I would store them in the brain normally, but unfortunately I don't have any brain capacity. This amuses me. Okay, what can I say? There's just something really, really satisfying about GitHub. Where is your CI/CD? I set up a workflow, thank you very much. I was very proud of myself. I set up a workflow so that every time I open an issue, it puts it on my project board automatically. I was so proud of myself. You should have asked Hosmod for a private GitLab to store GitLab issues in it. I have only just started using GitLab though, and like I set this up a little while back, and like GitLab is literally like the last 2 weeks I started using it, not out of choice. So yeah. But then I'm struggling to tell the difference. It feels like two kind of variations of something very similar, but that might just be because I don't know enough about that stuff. I'm probably wrong. Okay. Right, paper. So, assuming that the paranoid individual exhibits a bias that is strongly orientated towards false positives. Oh wait, did we read this already? Oh, okay, we're reading again. Assuming that a paranoid individual exhibits a bias that is strongly orientated towards false positives for cheating detection and insensitive to variations in cost asymmetry also implies that this alteration generates a widespread distrust, inability to cooperate even within group members, and a belief in false conspiracy theories. This lack of plasticity would also explain the maladaptation of paranoid individuals in social exchange, such as a difficulty in developing social relationships. Cool. I'm going to highlight this part so that I can come back to it at some point. GitLab's been heavily influenced by GitHub, I see. Gitly? What is that? What even is that? I've never heard of it. Okay. Right. Second, the alteration can take place at the level of the inputs handled by the mechanism. Indeed, in order to be adaptive, the cheating detection mechanism had to process relevant cues of cheating, direct or indirect cues, in order to assess the likelihood of cheating. Conversely, individuals with high levels of paranoid ideation might integrate irrelevant cues as cheating cues. What? Oh yeah, okay. Increasing the probability of occurrence of cheating. The incorporation of incorrect inputs in the detection of cheating could also explain the link between sensitivity to agency and the belief in conspiracy theories. So agency being like, do you think that people are exerting their power and influence, basically, in any way? Or like seeing that someone is controlling something, even if they're not. Indeed, social exchange theory proposes that cheating detection mechanisms are particularly sensitive to the detection of intentionality in order to distinguish between an accidental and intentional violation of social contracts. That, I can't really argue with that. That does make sense to me. Yeah, so working out whether or not something has been done on purpose or by accident is a big part of detecting whether something is cheating or just an unfortunate situation. That makes sense. Okay, so I guess this. Hi, Kuroki Kuro? Is that how I say your name? I hope I've said that right. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in, welcome in. Thank you so much for the raid. Hi, Einhorn. Hello, June. Hello, Silbu. Hey, hey. And Parando Shrimpu. Hi, welcome in, welcome in. Thank you so much for the raid. How you doing? I hope you're good. Welcome in. Wait, I was just about to highlight something. Wait, let me get rid of that. Actually, no, let me highlight this very, very quickly. And otherwise I'll forget. There we go. Okay. Welcome in. Beautiful model. Thank you. I made it myself. It's just a Vroid one. Welcome in, everybody. I hope you're all well. I am Psydere. I am a psychologist. In real life, I'm an actual, research psychologist. That's my job. I'm just finishing up my PhD thesis. I'm meant to be submitting it at Christmas, which is very scary and stressful. And yeah, sometimes we talk about sciencey stuff on stream, which is what we're doing today. We're reading a paper. Hang on, let me go up to the top. Zoom. There we go. This is the paper. It's all about detecting conspiracy theories and whether that's linked to how we identify if people are cheating, basically. Like cheating in tests or cheating in terms of stealing things from us, stuff like that. Very, very cool. So that's what we're doing. Oh, how you doing? I hope you're good. What did you do? Is it Kuroki? I hope I'm saying it right. If I'm not, please tell me. Or is it Kurochi? I don't know. My gut instinct is Kuroki. I'm sorry if that's wrong. Or Kuro. I guess I could just call you Kuro, probably. But yeah, what were you up to? I hope you had a good stream. Let me give you a shout out. Wait. Sorry, I'm very bad at things. I do things very slowly and in a strange order. Let me give you a shout out. There you go. Don't worry, you can just say Kuro. Cool. Kuro like black in Japanese. This makes sense. Got cookies for everybody. Let's go. Thank you for the cookies. We appreciate that, Einhorn. I love some cookies. I actually want cookies. But yeah, how did your stream do? How did your stream go? I hope it was good. What were you up to? Yeah, we're just reading a paper today. It's very funky, very cool. And yeah, if anybody likes science, I do science. That's what we're doing. Sometimes I give lectures when I'm actually prepared, but I haven't done that for a while because, yeah, writing the thesis is giving me brainworms. It's giving me so much brainworms. Some true crime? What? You were doing true crime? That's I need more information. Tell me more. What does this mean? What does this mean? True crime? Hi Eric! Thank you so much for the resub. 12 months? Oh my gosh, thank you so much. And it's been 10 months already. Goodness gracious. Where is my life going? Science? I agree. Science. Science is better than finance. Finance is still, well, personal finance is still very important. So, yes, we support personal finance. And also, finance is good if it's funding my science experiments because I need help. Oh, I've run out of funding and I need financial support from the government. Oh no. But yeah, so we're reading this paper today about conspiracy theories and cheating detection. So let me bring up the little diagram. Basically, this paper it's a theoretical paper, and they are arguing that if people are seeing conspiracy theories, it might be because they are prone to detect cheating in their environment. Because if somebody's doing something that like cheats us out of resources or cheats us out of, you know, something that we need, not super helpful. In terms of they're talking about it in terms of evolution. Basically, you can, if you lose out on resources in, you know, when you're evolving, then it could mean that you just die and then you don't pass on your genes, and that's not very good in terms of evolution. So it's really important that we detect the cheating. And they're arguing that when that mechanism, that underlying cognitive mechanism for detecting cheating goes a bit wonky, that's what explains why people believe conspiracy theories when there is no conspiracy happening. So they're saying that the two important things are the cues that we use to detect the cheating. So when we look at a situation, do we go, I don't know, say for example, looking at how often somebody has cheated in the past or how likely cheating is to happen in the environment. You know, if you're in like an environment where lots of people cheat on each other, you know, they like you're playing poker with a bunch of really saucy people like that, then you're more likely to expect that there will be cheating. However, there is also pros and cons to both. Thank you for the follow, Kuro. Thank you. That means you're a participant now. Sorry, you have to take part in the research. That was the informed consent sheet. I apologize. But yeah, cues on cost asymmetry is basically looking at like what are the consequences of me labeling someone a cheater if they are and if they aren't. So for example, if I go up to some random person and I say, "You stole my money," then that doesn't really have much of a social impact apart from people might think I'm a bit weird, but then everybody will forget. Or like if it's somebody who's in a different social group to us, then likewise, you know, it doesn't really have that much of an effect. But if I say that to somebody who is in my family, or if I say that to somebody who is part of the same social group as me, then it could mean that they're really upset by it and they expel us from the group. And in that case, identifying a false positive, so thinking that somebody is a cheater when they're actually not, would have really bad impacts from an evolutionary standpoint. Because if you get expelled from the group, then you potentially also lose access to resources, but you might also lose safety. You might not have anywhere safe to sleep anymore. And then you can die, and then you don't get to evolve. You don't get to pass on your genes anymore. So yes, that is a very brief summary. I hope that made a bit of sense. We're quite far through the paper already. We're on, I mean, this is page 8, but I think we're actually on page 10 or something now. Yeah, like we're literally on the last section of it. What kind of cheating are we talking about? That's a good question. They never actually specified whether like relationship cheating counts, if that makes sense. My understanding is that they're just talking, so they framed it as any kind of social contract violation where one person benefits at the other's expense, which basically just means like if you've got an agreement, like an implied agreement between two people, if one person does something that the other doesn't like consent to and they end up suffering because of it and the first person benefits, then that would classify as cheating. So I think that the relationship version would fall within their definition, but they didn't explicitly say it. But the examples that they've used have more been around like, you know, say for example, cheating when you're gambling or something like that. Like, yeah, like taking people's money, stuff like that. Also, thank you for the follow, Einhorn. Thank you so much. You're also a participant now. Welcome in. It's actually super interesting. Yeah, this paper's been really interesting. I don't necessarily agree with it. And thank you for the follow. Oh gosh, I'm sorry. I'm going to struggle with your name. Porando Shrimpu. Can I just call you Shrimp? Is that okay? I struggle with reading sometimes, which is really ironic given I do these journal club streams. Like, really ironic. You would think that I would do a better job. But yes. Capitalism, exactly. Hi, Blue Jay. Welcome in. Welcome in. We're still on the same journal article. Yeah, we are. We never got past it. We're still struggling. We're gonna finish it today, I swear. Oh dear. It would be an interesting avenue of research between actual paranoia and paranoia about romantic partners. Yeah, I wonder how much they overlap, because like general paranoia, if you're thinking about like a say for example like psychosis, right? Because paranoia is an element of psychosis. If you're thinking about, you know, the kind of classic like, you know, the government are watching me, that's not like interpersonal in a way. It's kind of like a kind of ominous group of powerful people, if that makes sense. Whereas like paranoia within a relationship is very much like one person and potentially also, you know, alleging external people too, but it's primarily between two people. But then the pattern detection element, you know, like seeing patterns that you think are there when they're not necessarily there, that should be similar across both in theory. But I think the motivations like driving those cognitions are probably quite different. How many shrimps do we have to eat? We're not eating any shrimps. We're not eating any shrimps. Don't eat shrimp. I have a friend with PPD. Ooh. Ooh. I hope they're okay. I hope they're doing good. A posture check. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, shrimp. Thank you. Let's see. Flies and tacos. Hi, Bobo. Welcome in. Welcome in. How you doing? With regards to finishing, you know what? We're on the research directions section now, though, so we're very, very close. I think I can feel it in my butt. Oh no, never mind. It's quite long. We're getting there. I swear we're gonna finish. I've got a book of case studies on distributed leadership in nursing, and I'm sure I've been rereading the same page of the same study for 6 months. That's such a mood. That's such a mood. When it comes to books, like, I'm really, really bad at just continuing to read. Like, I jump in, and then I jump out, and then I jump in, and then I jump out, and then I jump in, and I jump out. And then, like, there can be, like, a year between each jumping in. So, yeah. it can be a bit of a mess when I try and read a long book. But like other times, it depends on how busy I am, because when I'm not busy, I can sit there and read like an entire, I don't know, 300-page book in like 2 days. But yeah, it's been more of the jumping in and out recently, because every time I try and sit down and read something nice, my brain is like, it's thesis time. So that's good. Oh dear, oh dear. Anyway, right, paper. I swear, like can we speed run the lot? I don't think we can speed run the research directions section. And actually, we might be able to. It's just research directions. Let's try it. Okay. Actually, I need a water. Water. Let's have some water. Okay, I've drunk some water. Like how lively, chatty, and sweet. Thank you. I assume that means me. Thank you. You've caught me at a good time, because when I started the stream, I was like, I'm so tired. And then as I've gone along, I've got more engaged. So this is me in a good moment. Oh dear. Right. Okay. So indeed. Social exchange theory proposes that cheating detection mechanisms are particularly sensitive to the detection of intentionality in order to distinguish between. Oh, we've read that. We've read that already. I'm gonna delete that, and I'm gonna. That part was important. The intentionality bit. I think that that's quite important. Because yeah, a big part of paranoia is seeing intentionality when it isn't there. If that makes sense. So I think that that could well be a big part of the difference in the cheating detection mechanism. But anyway, yes, research directions. We're onto this, I think. So, Research directions. I don't know exactly what this is going to be. I suppose they're just going to be proposing, you know, research studies. I don't think I'm going to have much to say about this section, but we'll see what it says. Okay. Starting from the limitations of the big words, they get me every time. Starting from the limitations of pathologizing conspiracism, we attempted in this article to propose a cognitive mechanism that integrates the links between socio-political predictors and the belief in specific conspiracy theories, as well as links to pathological predictors of a conspiracy mentality. From the adaptive challenges of cheating detection, we deduced how a cheating detection mechanism could give rise to conspiracy theories by processing information correctly. Based on this normal processing, we derived potential alterations likely to generate a stable and general inclination to believe in conspiracy theories, i.e. mentality conspiracy. That's the wrong way around. Conspiracy mentality. This is what I meant when I said the word order is confusing at times. Conspiracy mentality. This proposal of unification does not only assume a common mechanism for the existing data on the occurrence of conspiracy belief, but also suggests a new mediation hypothesis concerning links between identified inputs in the literature and conspiracy theories. Okay. Right. Functional cheating detection mechanism mediates links between sociopolitical predictors and specific conspiracy theories. Am I going to have to explain to you what mediation is? That's not fun. Do they have a mediation model diagram? They don't. Okay. How can I explain this? Okay. Is there a space where I can draw? That's a better question. Hello? No. Okay. So mediation is normally represented by let's do red. Let's do red. So mediation is normally represented by like a kind of triangle diagram. So you'll have thing 1 here. So say for example, this would be the thing that you think is the predictor, like the starting point. But normally these things are correlational, so I will say that. Like normally you can't establish like which direction exactly this goes in. You're kind of just looking at the correlations and trying to work out how things fit together. You need to follow up with experimental research after you've done this. But you have thing 1. Let's say, for example, quack, yes. I agree. Science is fun, right? Cue all the sleepless nights. Don't even get me started. Don't get me started. The amount of sleepless nights I spent trying to understand the statistics underlying mediation, you are seeing the fruits of it now. It was at least 4 weeks. I'm just saying. Okay, right, so sociopolitical predictors and conspiracy theory beliefs. So let's see that thing 1 here is, I don't know, the people's, what can I correlate? Ideology, political ideology, you know, where they place on the left-right spectrum. Let's go with that. And then there is thing 2 here, which we know correlates with thing 1. And we assume it goes this way. So this would be belief in conspiracy theories. So we're assuming that people's ideology influences what conspiracy theories they believe, you know? People who are certain, I don't know, say for example, like people who belong to a right-wing party are more likely to believe conspiracy theories about left-wing people, and people that belong to a left-wing party are more likely to believe conspiracy theories about right-wing people. That's a fairly consistent finding. What this is suggesting is, what if cheating detection mechanism changes are thing 3, and this isn't direct? What if it's actually like this? It goes through it, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes any sense, but basically it's a fancy statistical model that tests whether a relationship between 2 things is actually explained by a 3rd thing. I hope that makes sense. So that's what mediation is. We're going to delete this because it's ugly. I have not drawn a good job here. Okay. So, with that in mind, let's go. Okay, so first, the decision bias of cheating detection mechanism is expected to mediate the link between target type, in-group and out-group, and the belief in specific conspiracy theories. In other words, we expect an in-group target to generate a cheating detection bias, more conservative, i.e. more orientated towards false negatives, in a cheater detection task. To be honest, that's kind of what I just said. So, you know, for example, with politics, let's stick with the politics example, why not? People who are left wing are more likely to expect people that are right wing to be cheating. People that are right wing are more likely to expect people that are left wing to be cheating. Like, it's people that are not in my social group are more likely to cheat. That's what they're saying. So they expect to see that on a cheating task, which you can do fairly easily. Like, it's a fairly robust experimental setup that you can do, but you basically just, you either actually get people to cheat, or you like make them think that people are cheating in a game. It's quite funny. Obviously, you know, you get help and stuff like that, but yeah. Surely this is already the next paper and not the conspiracy one, right? Right? Nico, I don't need your negativity. Welcome in, but I don't need your negativity. Welcome in. How you doing? I hope you're good. I hope you're good. Here you go. Shout out for you, Nico. Nico was also PhD student, and I saw your journal club stream. It was very good. I enjoyed it a lot. We love journal club streams, but also mostly does art streams, which is very cool. So go check out Nico. Yes, it is the same paper. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. Tribalism. Yes, exactly. They're basically, yeah, they're basically saying, you know, tribalism and cheating detection interlink. You know, if it's tribe, you know, my tribe are less likely to cheat than their tribe, basically. Moreover, the more conservative the bias, the more individuals should adhere to conspiracy theories targeting the outgroup, and the less they should adhere to conspiracy theories targeting the in-group. Conversely, when the detection target belongs to the outgroup, we expect a more liberal cheating detection bias, i.e. more orientated towards false positives. Moreover, the more liberal the bias in a cheater's detection task targeting the outgroup, the more individuals should adhere to conspiracy theories targeting the outgroup, and the less they should adhere to conspiracy theories targeting the in-group. I wish they had a graph for this. This would be a lot easier to process with a graph. Basically, they're saying, like, you know, the more... So, like, fairly consistently, people are more likely to believe that outgroups are cheating. They're also more likely to believe that outgroups are conspiracying? That's not a word. Committing a conspiracy against our in-group. That's the summary of it, and they're basically just saying, look, we can test this. And it will affect whether people are more inclined to believe false positives or not. Yes, that's what they're saying. Judging? Oh no. You're doing grand, thank you. I'm trying my best. I'm at a low at the minute because I found a paper that already did my planned research project. No! That's the worst! Oh, I hate that. That actually, no, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I have had a very similar thing recently. I know somebody who published, this person knew about my thesis, and they published a paper that it's not my thesis, but it's very similar. It's a kind of like tweak on my thesis, and I was like, how could you do this to me? Not the scooping. But it's fine. It's different enough that I'm fine, I think, overall, but it's similar enough that I can't get away with not citing it, if that makes sense. So I've had to like rework parts of my literature review to quite prominently feature this paper, which is stressful because before I was the first person doing the thing and now I'm technically the second, so that's good. Who are the outgroup with regards to flat earth? It's scientists, I think. It's normally like scientists and governments, if that makes sense. Yes. Have prayers to do and then I'll sleep. I hope you have a good sleep, Shrimp. Love from Poland. Ah! Wait, Dobronoc? I hope I said that right. Have a good night. And I wish you and everybody else a great science poggers progress. Thank you! Have a lovely evening. I hope you sleep well. And yeah, thank you so much for dropping by and for the follow. It's been lovely to have you in the stream. Dobronoc. Yes, I said it right. Yay! Yes, have a good evening. Have a good sleep. Okay. It happens. It does happen, Yuavko. It's very annoying when it happens. Like, the scooping. I cry every time. Even if it's not intentional, it's still like, oh, now I have to reference it. Oh. Pain. Pain and suffering. Okay. Right. Let's see. Where do we get to? We've read that part. Yes. Okay. According to our theoretical proposal, this modulation of decision bias, according to the belonging of the target, should be a function of a change in cost asymmetry. Okay. So in this respect, we expect that when the target belongs to the in-group, the cost of a false positive exceeds the cost of a false negative in cheating detection, generating a more conservative detection bias. Yeah, so again, it's the kind of like social costs. How badly is this going to affect my social network, basically? Yeah. Okay. Moreover, since cheating and cooperation are intimately linked, we consider that the asymmetry of costs could vary depending on the level of cooperation between the individual and the target of the detection. As such, we hypothesized that in a cooperation game, including two groups, the increase in the level of cooperation input at each social exchange between members of the two groups should modify the asymmetry costs. And therefore, the bias for detection mediator reducing the adherence to a conspiracy theory targeting the outgroup. That's a bit confusing. That whole paragraph was a bit confusing. So basically I think they're saying that if two groups have like a reason to cooperate or a history of cooperating, that will also vary how much accusing them of cheating is seen to affect negatively their social relationship. I think that's what it's saying. I'm not 100% sure, though. That one felt a bit confusing. Beyond group belonging, the model predicts that the described cheating detection mechanism mediates the link between the level of intergroup threat or competition and the belief in specific conspiracy theories. As such, we expect the effect of a threatening versus non-threatening context, for example, an electoral competition, on the belief in specific outgroup conspiracy theories to be mediated by a modulation of the cheating detection bias on a cheating detection task. So yeah, so if there's more competition between the two groups, or if they're, fighting for power or something like that, then they are more likely to accuse them of cheating, and therefore more likely to accuse them of conspiracies. That makes sense. Okay. Among other things, the more threatening or competitive the intergroup context, the more individuals should exhibit a liberal cheating detection bias for outgroup targets, leading to more conspiracy theories. I like this section. This bit makes sense. I still don't entirely understand something about cooperation. I think that this one is like specifically about cooperation games, which are an experimental paradigm, whereas this one is a bit more vague. This could be tested in less specific ways. So yeah, I think this is more helpful as a research direction generally. Like some of these, just read like studies that either they are going to do or they're going to make their postdocs do. So yeah. Okay. Finally, the model also suggests that the mechanism accounts for the link between individual and isolated acts of cheating, for example, corruption, and conspiracy theories that have recently been established in the literature. In this regard, we predict that the link between the level of salience of corruption and the belief in conspiracy theories is mediated by the perceived probability of cheating. In addition, we also expect mediation to be moderated by the cheating detection bias. Among other things, the more individuals identify with the groups to which the suspected cheating target belongs, the more they should have a conservative bias and the more they should minimize the probability of corruption. Okay. Yes. Okay. So yeah, because again, it's more costly to accuse someone in your own group of cheating versus somebody that's like not related to you whatsoever. For example, in the case of corruption within the government, the more individuals identify with the government, the more they should have a conservative cheating detection bias for government targets, and the more they should reduce the probability of corruption or perceived corruption in relation to the actual level of corruption. So yeah, so like if you've got one political party in power and then you're a member of the other party, you're more likely to see them as... Actually, no, I think this is even saying if you're part of the same group. So like, say, for example, if there's a political party in the government and they are your party, but you just really, really don't like the person in charge specifically and the cabinet that they appointed, then you're more likely to perceive corruption regardless of whether it's there or not. Okay, that makes sense. Because, yeah, a big part of how we process these kinds of things is kind of identity-based and emotion-based. Like, do I feel like I can relate to these people? If you can relate to them, then yeah, you're less likely to... I can see why you'd be less likely to think that they're cheating. And yeah, that also applies for conspiracy theories, because a lot of the times conspiracy theories are just a way to kind of navigate complicated events, I think. And that often involves that intergroup element, so like two groups maybe competing or one group having more power over another. Okay, for example, in the case of... Oh wait, I've already read that. Conversely, the more individuals identify with parties opposed to the government, the more they should exhibit a liberal bias. Yeah, so if you don't support the party, you're more likely to think that they're cheating. That makes sense. Okay. Dysfunctional cheating detection mechanism mediates links between sub-pathological predictors and conspiracy mentality. From the description of a functional cheating detection mechanism, we deduce possible alterations likely to generate a general tendency to believe conspiracy theories. These inferences of possible alterations offer new empirical predictions. Derived from the model, we first expect that a strongly liberal bias in cheating detection to be related to a higher level of conspiracy mentality. Yeah, so this is the thing that they're adding in about the conspiracy theories. So yeah, if you're more like, if it doesn't affect you socially that much to accuse people of cheating, then you're also probably going to be more inclined to believe conspiracy theories about them. But then on top of that, they're saying that there is a link also with paranoid ideation. In terms of like, if you are paranoid, then you are just less likely to like, if like that relationship between cheating detection and changing it according to the social context, you're just less likely to do it, basically. Like, it just kind of stays like a straight line, I guess. So, or like, it's just the same for everybody. You just accuse everybody equally. So yeah, the in-group and the social context don't really play as much role. Yeah, so they expect the link between paranoid ideation and conspiracy mentality to be mediated by the cheating detection bias in the cheater's detection task. So yeah, they're talking about the specifics of an experimental paradigm again. Among other things, the higher level of paranoid ideation, the more liberal the bias should be, and the higher level of conspiracy mentality should be. Yes, that makes sense. Oh, I have done that wrong. There we go, fixed it. Okay. Concerning the differentiation between normal and altered functioning, we predict that an alteration comes from an incorrect updating of the detection bias. Amongst other things, we predict that, given a constant level of belief in conspiracy theories, an individual with a liberal cheating detection bias that does not update facing changes in cost asymmetry should exhibit a higher level of paranoid ideation than an individual whose bias updates facing changes in cost asymmetry. It's a bit weird that they put paranoid ideation as being a mediator, and then they've kind of framed it as an outcome there. So that originally they said it's in the middle, but this sentence makes it sound like noise. Background noise. This sentence makes it sound like the paranoid ideation is actually like the ultimate thing that we're measuring, which is a bit of a strange way to phrase it, I think. If this prediction is verified, the identification of an alteration in the actualization of the cheating detection bias could help to empirically describe two profiles of conspiracists. Still on the subject of differences between normal and impaired functioning, we also considered that impaired functioning could result from the integration of incorrect inputs. Yeah, so people could just see things that, aren't there. This prediction can be linked to research on hypersensitivity to agency, which is where you see people having control where there is no control. Amongst other things, we predict that the more hypersensitive individuals are to agency, the more they should interpret accidental violations of social contracts as intentional violations. And I assume that in turn means that they also... Yeah, and on the other hand, the more they identify accidental violations as intentional violations, the more they should perceive a high level of cheating, leading to a high level of conspiracy mentality. Yeah, so the more that they think that people are in control, the more that they think that there's cheating, and the more that they think there's conspiracy theories. Yes, that makes sense. Okay, I think that's the kind of important bit there. And then this part also, I think. Yes. Okay. More broadly, identifying the alterations that give rise to pathological beliefs could serve as a starting point for intervention research. Yeah, so psychologists love intervention research. Basically, an intervention is like something that you do, or like some kind of program that you deliver. So it could be, for example, an education program, or like give people a game to play or something like that. And it tries to kind of like interfere with their behavior and their beliefs, not in like a sus way, just in a like, what you're doing could potentially harm yourself or others, and therefore we are going to intervene and try and stop it. It's more like a kind of like drug intervention, you know, like when somebody's got like substance misuse issues, you do an intervention to try and, you know, get them to rehab and get them on a treatment program and ideally help them kick that addiction. It's kind of similar to that, but like more broadly and obviously without the addiction part. Yeah. But yeah, whenever we're designing some kind of program to try and change people's behaviors, we call it an intervention. I'm gonna do some self-care. Okay, enjoy your self-care, Yuavko. Thank you for dropping by. I hope you have a good time, a good evening. Thank you for dropping by. The line between medicine and poison is thin indeed. It certainly can be, because like obviously with psychology, like the same in like something that can be an intervention for somebody that's like, you know, potentially in danger, either to the like they're a danger to themselves or others. It could for like somebody else who isn't a danger to themselves or others, it could be, you know, just a way to manipulate them. And like there's a lot of talk around there's this concept in research called dual use, and there's a lot of talk around how psychology interventions are potentially dual use, because like the more that we understand, for example, the cognitive mechanisms underlying why people believe conspiracy theories, the more, for example, some kind of malicious I don't know, like like some kind of like internal group, or potentially like it could be used in a kind of geopolitical sense. Like it could be the same mechanisms could be exploited to make people believe them. And we have seen a little bit of that in the past. It's been quite a common propaganda technique. Like at the end of the day, a lot of stuff that comes out of psychology, like if it's applied in one way to help people, it's an intervention, and if it's applied in another way, it's propaganda. So yeah, you've got to be careful of that. It's like how a lot of therapeutic techniques can also be used to manipulate people into like, you know, like a misuse of a power imbalance, basically. Like you can use therapeutic techniques to kind of get people to agree to things or get people to believe things. It's very, very sus. But that's why we've got ethics. You know, that's why we've got ethics review boards, and we check things like this, and we get informed consent and all that jazz. Okay, so yeah, so for instance, for individuals with high levels of paranoid ideation, protocols enhancing the plasticity of the decision bias could contribute to reducing the tendency to overdetect threat. Those bad guys probably have already discovered those techniques by simple throwing stuff to see what sticks. This is very true. This is very true. Yeah. Often, like, something that we work out from academic psychology, I wouldn't be surprised if the defense sector knew about it 20, 30 years ago. Yeah. Psychiatry and psychology are fraught with examples of pathologizing to undermine people, women in particular. Yeah. I mean, this is actually just a debate in the conspiracy theories literature. They kind of mentioned it earlier in this paper. There are some cases where people have been labeled conspiracy theorists by a government or by, you know, people in power, often minority groups, in order to basically silence them and stigmatize the belief. And then it turns out it actually did happen. So a great example being like the stuff like the Tuskegee syphilis experiment. Like there were quote unquote conspiracy theories about it in, you know, ethnic minority communities for a really, really, really long time. And then it turned out it was true. So yeah, it's really interesting. Like I find, like, philosophically, I find the difference between those really, really interesting, but it's obviously also like a bit of a difficult topic to navigate. It's really hard to get that nuance across to a lot of people. Yeah, because a lot of people come into this kind of literature or this kind of research. Like I've had personal experiences where I tell people what my research topic is, and they're like, they've instantly just got an opinion. Like they either think that what I'm researching is basically just furthering a government conspiracy and I'm part of it. I've had that a few times. Or they're like, oh yeah, conspiracy theories are really problematic. I'm glad you're doing that research. And it's like, it's more complicated than that. It's in the middle. Like sometimes people believe conspiracy theories that don't have a basis in reality. Sometimes the conspiracy theory is based in reality and we just don't know it yet. Sometimes it is based in reality and it has been proven. Sometimes it's just wacky and it can't be proven either way whatsoever because it's just based on fundamentally philosophy that doesn't work. Like, yeah. So it's complicated, and getting that level of nuance across is really, really difficult. But it is something that the psychology literature, I think, is starting to contend with better now. Some areas of psychology more than others, though. I think social psychology and political psychology is doing an okay job starting to contend with that. Clinical psychology is also starting to. Things like community psychology, it's been part of it for the whole time that the field existed. Cognitive and evolutionary psychology, not so great. Not so great. They generally could improve, but this paper's been fine for it, to be fair. This paper's done a good job of expressing the nuance around that and the risks of pathologizing. Yeah. Sorry, I went off on a tangent there. Look at that. It's the end. It's the conclusion. We've done it. Okay. In summary, the paper advocates for the adoption of an integrative viewpoint centered on cognitive mechanisms as a powerful means to integrate socio-political and pathological focuses. By actually saying there was still a little bit pathologizing, wasn't it? The way that they talked about, like, paranoia felt a little bit stigmatizing. Oh well. No one can be perfect, I guess. By amalgamating diverse perspectives, this approach enables a more nuanced and comprehensive It allows a more nuanced and comprehensive comprehension of conspiracy beliefs. Okay. The proposed integration opens up possibilities for exploring new hypotheses, inviting in-group examination. Ultimately, we believe that this integrative approach has the potential to unlock novel avenues of knowledge and drive meaningful advancements in the field. What a nice generic ending. We love that. This type of ending, every paper ever. It's like, you need something vague to just finish it up. Personally, I don't like doing it. But, you know, a lot of papers do it. So yeah, that was the paper. And there's all their references. PhD student, let's go. Let's go, Benjamin. Shout out. Let's see. Okay. He's funded by the or collaborating with the Wilderness Foundation, WWF. So like the conservation charity. Focuses on decision-making concerning the regulation of inconsistency and the mechanisms underlying the use of conspiracy theory to regulate inconsistency with an integrative approach. Very cool. Very, very cool. And then there's a professor who I assume is his supervisor. Very nice. We love that. Yeah, you guessed it. They were very French. I struggled with it at places, I'm not going to lie. It was an exciting tangent. Thank you. A bit of alliteration. Yeah, that's one way to put it. I would call it repetition. Sometimes you just run out of words. So, like, the amount of times that I have written, like, the same word over and over and over again in a sentence, and then I've looked at it and I've been like, nope, need to whip out the thesaurus. This isn't working. So that's valid. Yeah, that was a paper. Overall thoughts on the paper? That is a good question, Doc Rect. I think that the idea that there is a kind of generalized mechanism explaining conspiracy theory beliefs potentially has some sway. I think that we can't really make a conclusion on it until there's like solid cross-cultural research, though, because there's a lot of times where we think that this mechanism is universal. I really don't know about like cheating detection mechanisms. My gut instinct is that there may be some type of cheating detection mechanisms across different cultures, but I wouldn't be surprised if they work slightly differently in different places, if that makes sense. Because like different cultures have different how can I describe this? Like different cultures are associated with different kind of like models of how you identify. So like in like Europe and North America, we tend to have a bit more of a what you'd call an individualistic approach. Not all of it, like mostly Western Europe, Northern Europe, Western Europe, kind of a little bit Central Europe, and then North America and, you know, Australia, New Zealand, tend to have a individualistic approach to identity, which is basically like the best way I can describe it is that you think of yourself in terms of your own traits and like what you do. So like if I were to list out what I do, then I'd be like, you know, I'm a VTuber, I'm a PhD student, I'm a psychologist, and then like traits about who you are. So like I don't know, I am an ambivert. I am I like to think that I'm friendly, stuff like that. Whereas like when you look at other cultures, so especially like African and Asian, and I think also Latin American cultures, and then also parts of Eastern Europe and Southern Europe, it's more of a kind of collective identity model. So people will be like, when you ask them to how they identify, what are the key things about themselves, they'll put like their place in social networks more. So for example, saying like, I am a wife, I am a mother, I am a colleague in this team, I am part of the baseball team, stuff like that. Yeah, so it's more collective. It's more thinking about things collectively. So yeah, the individualism, collectivism dimension. I think it's a kind of it's a good. It seems to be fairly robust. I feel like there's probably like sub facets of it that I don't know much about. Frankly, there's probably done research into it, but I don't know much about it. Thank you for the posture check. Is it fun? Fun? Oh gosh, I'm so sorry. Can I just call you Fun? Is that okay? Fun Xion? I hope I've said that right. Apologies if I haven't. Can I just call you Fun? Is that okay? But yeah, thank you for the posture check. I'll have some water as well, actually. I have some water. Let's do that. I always knew that the telecoms are conspiring against me to make my job the most difficult ever. I think that my experience is that the IT people are conspiring against me to make my life difficult. That's a joke. We love the IT technicians. This is something I often end up challenging in leadership and business science, is that a lot of them are only really tested or observed on American and English academics and in corporate environments. Yeah, it's an issue in psychology too. Ours is even worse because it's overwhelmingly just like psychology students at American. So I think a few years back there was this really, really like pivotal paper. I think it was called I want to say it was by Henrik and Heine and someone else, Norazayan. I want to say it was those three, but I might be wrong. But yeah, it was basically saying that psychology is weird, because they went through a few key journals and noted down sample characteristics, and it was something like 80% of them were from North American psychology departments. Like it was literally just students, and they were saying like this specific subsample of people, psychology students, are Western. They're from Western, highly educated, industrialized, rich, and democratic countries, and that is not representative of the wider world. And then even within that, like those weird like cultural classifications, they're even weirder even within that, because obviously, like, you know, if somebody's gone to university, there's a stronger chance that they are, you know, from an educated family. They're more likely to be from a richer family. They're more likely to be from a politically engaged family, stuff like that. So yeah, yeah, that's a thing that's been raised in psychology. It's starting to get a little bit better. We're doing more like, you know, cross-cultural research. We're doing more team science stuff, but it is absolutely something we need to keep improving on. And it should be the default, really, trying to make sure that you get a sample that's, you know, actually representative of the world rather than just the people in your department. It's like the metabolic research and the test subjects being college students. It's exactly the same. Yeah, it's exactly the same. I know that, yeah, biology's had a lot of, well, specifically like biomedicine has had a lot of the same issues of like only testing on certain groups of people and then being like, oh no, it does bad things. What would you know? It does bad things to females, and we had an 83% male sample. Oh no. Yeah. We had that in biology too around the same time. Yeah. Yeah, I think the replication crisis in general is, yeah, it affects more fields than people like to admit, but yeah. Psychology is the one that gets a lot of the blame. Okay. With that being said, I think it is time to wrap up. So, Let me put that away. Let me put that away. And let me work out where we're going. Where are we raiding to today? Where are we raiding? Let's see. Who's online? Let's find out. Right. I need to work out where we're going. Online. Let's see. If anyone has any suggestions, I'm welcome to take them. Hi, Slightly Caffeinated. Welcome in. Welcome in. Cancer biologist here, and the replication crisis is a crisis. Yes, it really is. I can imagine it's a thing in your field just as badly. Yeah, I'm in social psychology, and we've had a real time with it. I feel like we're getting scapegoated a little bit. Like everyone's saying, "Oh, look at them. They're the worst," and it's like, we're not great. I'm not going to pretend otherwise. We aren't great, but you know, there's other fields that are not doing great either. Okay, right. Let me move this. This is going to make a noise. Sorry. Okay. Right. So. Oh gosh. Okay. Here's the raid message. Here is the raid message. Okay. Have you seen Pete Judo's videos about social psychology stuff? Yes, they're so good. I love those. Pete Judo's channel is so good. You can get poked at easier. No, thank you. I'm good. I'm good. Always have to be careful with folks with rocks while in glass houses. Yeah, this is very true. This is very, very true. But you know, I think it's probably down to like, we're quote unquote not a real science. So yeah, we get treated like that. So in terms of raiding, I would like to let's go and do some software development today. Let's do that. Yeah, we're just raiding out. Yeah, it's really late here. I need to go to bed. Really, really need to go to bed. Oh, you meant the site guys can get poked at easier than some of the other fields. This is very true. Yeah, we do get poked at quite bad. We do get poked at quite bad. Okay, we are going to go and raid into L:Q, who is doing a software development stream. I don't know what. Mobile Suit? The continuation? I don't know what this is, but we're going to go find out. And it's going to be fun and cool. He's slightly biased for stuff not in his field. I'll send a link to what I mean, but still pretty good. Yeah, absolutely. Whack it in the Discord server. That'd be cool. Yeah, I mean, I only really watch the stuff about like things that I know, if that makes sense, like as news. And it aligns with what I know, but he could well be doing stuff that he doesn't know about, and I would not have a clue because I don't watch it. But yeah, thank you all so much for the stream. Thank you all for joining. Next stream is going to be on Thursday. I'm going to be doing a co-working stream. I'm going to work on my thesis on stream. It's been a while since we've done one of those. And it will be starting at 9 AM UTC, I think. So yeah, hopefully I'll see some of you there. But yeah, thank you all so much for joining. I'm so glad that we finished this paper finally. I've been so annoyed and so tired. we need to stop with the paper. We're never doing a theoretical paper again. We're only doing experiments from now on. But yeah, I will go and leave you in L:'Q's capable hands, and yeah, hopefully see you next time. Bye! Bye 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 bye!